Good morning and welcome to StudyIQ. I am Prashant Pamani. I hope you're learning good. Let's have a positive start. If you can imagine it, you can achieve it. If you can dream it, you can become it, has been said by William Arthur Vaughan. Think about it. With this, dear friends, our pen drive and tablet courses are available for various different exams. At present, huge discount. Year-end sale is going on. You'll get all important information on StudyIQ.com. 31st December is the last date for this huge discount, so make the most out of it. In case you have any question or queries, feel free and give us a call on the numbers that you can see on your screen, but make the most out of it now. Don't wait for 31st. With this, dear friends, we have just 4 articles to go through today. It's Saturday and tomorrow is Sunday. I'm going to bring out a special topic. I'll try to bring out a special topic for you guys tomorrow. And by the end of this lecture, I have a small update for you as well, an important notice for you. But let's just focus on the items that we have on board at present. Now, the first one that we are going to go through is this one, Netanyahu's gamble. This is about Israel and politics that's going on in Israel. Now, many of you would be wondering that we don't generally go through the politics or internal politics of a particular country because it's not that important for you. Of course, what I do is I go through the article first, and based on this research or the things that I read in this article, I decide whether this article is important for you or not based on past papers and questions that are asked, and there are so many other factors as well. So this particular article is important because you are going to find few items in it. I am going to take you through it, but first of all, let's start with geography of this country, Israel. I'm going to give you a bit of background of this country as well. So this is Israel here. Many of us are aware about Israel because of Mossad, which is its aggressive intelligence agency. Many films are made on Mossad's operations and things. So this is a bit more, you can say, entertainment or a bit more flamboyant part of Israel. Defense of Israel, or the main core philosophy of their defense system is attack, right? They believe that attack is the best defense. They are surrounded by, or there was a time when they were surrounded by enemies, right? Israel is a predominantly Jewish country. So the other countries that are surrounding Israel is this Arabic countries, Egypt, Jordan, Syria, and Lebanon, and other countries. So they had this a 6-day war with all these countries like Egypt, Jordan, Syria, and Israel was victorious in this 6-day war, or it is also known as Arab War. Israel was in news in recent past because of Jerusalem. Remember this year, not last year, but this year, it was early this year when Mr. Trump announced that Jerusalem is the capital of Israel. And USA is, or in fact they have shifted their embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. Now let me tell you that Israel is an ally of USA, and it has always been, both these countries, they have always been good friends with each other. And Tel Aviv is a place where Indian embassy is located in Israel. The reason why our embassy is not there, or why we are not taking a stand of Jerusalem, is because still you have this country Palestine and Israel. They need to sort out this Jerusalem issue. Just it's something similar to India, Pakistan, and Jammu, and not full Jammu and Kashmir portion, but this POK portion. Of course, we know that POK is a portion of Kashmir that is part of our country that is at present occupied by Pakistan. So Jerusalem, they have this issue. It's Jerusalem is a city that is important for Muslims, it is important for Christians, and it is important for Jews as well. And a tussle is going on, like who is right, and Israel, this Jerusalem belongs to Palestine or Israel. So in this, you can say, unclarity, when you have this lack of clarity on this Jerusalem topic, and when USA is declaring that Jerusalem is the official capital of Israel, so that has created a bit of cracks in this whole issue. It has created a bit more trouble, and it was in news in recent past because Australia did the same thing, right? So it followed the path of USA. So this is the reason why it was a news. So we have talked about some big points that are going on in this part of the world. Now let's focus on a little bit of geography. Golan Heights are important, right? They used to be part of Syria, but after this 6-day war, this Golan Height, since then it is under control of Israel. Then you have Mediterranean Sea on one side. This place here that you can see, this is called Gaza Strip, and this portion is West Bank. This portion is West Bank. So West Bank and Gaza Strip, they both belong to this country called Palestine. But again, then, you know, if you go a bit deeper into Palestine, then you find there are two divisions here. This one is ruled by a more, you can say, a civilized government, and this one is ruled by Hamas. Hamas is a Palestinian militant group, and most of the time it is in news because of this border related issues, people trying to enter this from Palestine up this Gaza Strip or Palestine. They are trying to enter into Israel, and then we find this confrontation going on between Israeli border police or border force and these people living in Gaza Strip. I still remember a few weeks ago, maybe it was 2 months ago, 1.5, 2 months ago, this thing was in news, and at that point of time we have discussed this thing that this land, air as well as this waterways are blocked of this Gaza Strip. It is blocked by Israel. So because of this, you know, trouble activities that are conducted by this Hamas. So now we have got enough information about Israel. Now you can of course go through this geographical thing like countries that are surrounding Israel. And I have one map based question for you. Can you give me the name of this portion here, this water body? Can you give me the name of this water body? Stick your answer in the comment section or in the live chat box if you are listening it. If you are listening to this premiere, if you are watching the premiere of this video, then you can stick your answer in the chat box. Now, dear friends, why we find this editorial today is because the government of Benjamin Netanyahu, he has decided that he is going to dissolve the parliament. And one of the reasons is that you see this is the parliament on your screen. This is the parliament of Israel. They are going to dissolve it. It is a 120 member parliament, and there is a specific name of this parliament. Like in our country we call it parliament. In USA they call it Congress, isn't it? So can you give me that specific name of Israel's parliament? That's the question. Second question, number 2 for you guys. Now let's go through the formation of the government, how it was formed or how it is at present. You have this defense minister, he has his own party, and then you have prime minister, he has his own party, and they are having a coalition joint government. And because this defense minister, he has a few weeks ago he quit and he pulled his party's support from this Netanyahu's party, because they are not happy with this truce or a sort of compromise with Hamas, the Palestinian militant group that runs this Gaza Strip that I have already told you about. So because of this deal of Netanyahu and this Hamas, defense minister, who is considered a bit hawkish, he is not happy, and his party has pulled back its support to the government. So government is a bit shaky at present. The other topic is this Jewish, how it works in Israel is that everyone in Israel, they have to go through, when they reach the age of 18, they have to serve in the army or in the military. They have to go there for like 2 years, but religious students, right, Jewish Orthodox religious students, they are exempted. But now this new bill that government is trying to introduce, and this bill, they have to pass it by 15th January, because the court has already imposed a deadline on this bill that before 15th January you have to pass this bill. So this ultra-Orthodox men, they will have to go through this military training, and they have to serve the country just like other citizens. So this thing has been opposed by opposition party as well as Orthodox Jewish parties. They are against this bill. So this is one reason, and So these are a few things that are going on now. If we analyze this government of Benjamin Netanyahu, as far as India is concerned, they have a very good relationship under his leadership, right? Mr. Modi and Netanyahu, they share a very good rapport between each other. But Netanyahu has been successful in security, economy, transportation, tourism, and infrastructure. But against him, there are some corruption charges. Then, as far as security or this deal with Palestine is concerned, that's not still, I would say, sorted out. This two-state solution is chalked. It's not working. It's not moving ahead under Netanyahu. So there are a few issues as well. So this election, it's not going to be that easy for this Netanyahu. But our main focus here was Israel and a few interesting things about Israel that I believe are important for your general knowledge, for your overall understanding, like USA and Israel's friendship and their partnership and other things. So think about it. Now, moving on to it will help you immensely with your geopolitics. Now, the second topic that we have is easy to understand, a law that defeats its purpose. I'm going to be as brief as possible here because I think in this week itself we have discussed this topic twice. It's about Transgender Persons Protection of Rights Bill 2018. So let's quickly revise this one. This famous Nalsa case. In this Nalsa case, the Supreme Court said that Supreme Court declared this constitutional right to self-identity. That means a person can, based on his or her personality, a person can decide whether he or she is a male, a female, or a transgender. No panel, no medical body can, certify that thing for you. You have this right to self-identify yourself, whether you fall in male, female, or transgender category. So it's a more, I would say, democratic option as well as constitutional right that was clearly stated by Supreme Court in this Nalsa case. Now, back in 2004, United Kingdom came out with this Gender Recognition Act, and this was the first law in the world allowing people to change gender without surgery. Since then, other countries, including Argentina, Ireland, Denmark, have passed similar laws. And again, these laws are based on this right to self-identity. So this is something that is missing in this 2018's latest bill. So this is one reason why it should be opposed. The second thing is, as far as reservation for transgenders and intersex persons are concerned, it is missing. When we say reservation, we are talking about education as well as public employment or government jobs. Reservation is missing in this 2018's bill. In 2016 or bills earlier bills that were proposed earlier on, in those bills we find this sort of reservation, 2% or 4% sort of reservation. But in this bill, there is no mention at all of reservation. So that's again a bad thing. And last thing is begging is criminalized in this bill, the Transgender Persons Bill 2018. So early on we discussed this thing that this is one of the main profession of transgender people in our society, and when you are going to take away this right from them, all right, already they are ostracized from society, and if you don't allow begging or if you are criminalizing this thing, then authorities will be a bit more harsh on transgenders, and that is not good at all for them. So these are a few negative things about this law, a law that defeats its purpose. That's what the title is, and we have already talked about all these things, isn't it? So I'm sure it's a good revision for you. We're already done with this too. Now let's go through this strange deal. Now pay attention. In March 2016, foreign investment up to 100% was allowed under the automatic route for e-commerce firms. E-commerce means Amazon and this Flipkart and Snapdeal and XYZ, these whole big names, big and small names. They are all e-commerce companies. Their main job is to provide a platform or a market, a virtual or electronic market where buyers and sellers can interact with each other and they can sell and buy things. Simple as that. But in this 2016 rule, you can go for automatic route, 100% FDI, as far as you are just providing platform. So this was the rule. I hope things are clear. If not, then let me I believe that for some students it would be a bit difficult, so let me you can say explain it or break it down for you guys here. So 100% means you can take over a local company. If you are a local company, and if there is a foreign company, then this foreign company can take over this local company, and 100% this company can become a local, you can say a foreign company can take over company. Automatic route means you don't have to go through government, you don't have to take so many permissions and things, you can directly do that thing. So that's what automatic, you don't need permission, you are free, you can come here and invest in India. And I have already told you, business to business transaction, that means that if you are say soap producing, and if you are producing various different chemical like this cosmetics and chemicals and things like that, then if you are Unilever or any other big brand of foreign country, then you cannot sell your items. When I say you cannot sell your item, means you should not have stakes. You should not have stakes in your, you can sell it on your own website, but when it comes to this thing, right, you cannot be the proprietor or owner. You cannot have stake in this e-coms, and you cannot sell your products in this item. So this was not allowed, right? This was not allowed for this e-coms. Now we do find this new restrictions that are applied by government, like after this big deal that took place between Amazon and Flipkart. And after all these big deals, now government is coming out with some fresh restriction. And this is the main reason why India is many times considered as unpredictable market. And when your laws, when your policies are unpredictable, then of course no one will invest this huge amount of money in your country. So when people are not investing, when companies are a bit skeptical or a bit scared to invest in your country or in your market, then that's a negative thing, isn't it, for any market? Now the policy to kick in from this, the reason why we have this editorial or this article is because 2019 February 1st, so after a month, this policy it will be kicked in, and it will require a major overhaul in business model and shareholding structure of such players. For instance, for example, earlier a single vendor or its group of firms could not account for over 25% of sales in marketplace. But now the rules bar sales by any entities where the e-com firms have an equity stake. So if your e-com firms have equity stake, then you cannot sell those items, and an e-commerce marketplace entity will not mandate any seller to offer a product exclusively on its. So you find this mobile phones only on Amazon or only on Flipkart, on Snapdeal, and you cannot do that thing now. You cannot force them to just sell it on your platform. But what if a seller or a mobile company decides that they want to sell it only on Amazon, and so there is no clarity on this thing. So you can see this flow is here. The other thing is, earlier on we used to have this big debate, offline versus online, and then later on we saw this retail versus supermarket. In retail sector we saw this supermarket versus this small corner shops, and now we find this big versus small and single brand versus multi-brand. So this sort of you can say debate is going on in every various different you can say segments, and this is not good. This is projecting our country as an unpredictable market. So I hope things are clear to you. Early on we used to bet on global level, we bet for globalization, and we are taking a stand against protectionism. But what we find in our domestic market is no less than protectionism. This one again is an article written by a very important person, but I have gone through it and I find only one or two items that are important for your examination. But anyways, we are going to go through it. Now on 2nd October, when I say 2nd October, the first thing that comes, I'm sure, in your mind is Mahatma Gandhiji and his birthday. Yes, that's right. And United Nations celebrates this day as International Day of Non-Violence, right? On the same day, when we were celebrating 149th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi, we saw this murder of Jamal Khashoggi. Jamal Khashoggi was murdered, right? And he was murdered it was a very brutal and ghastly murder. He was not just shot with a gun or thing. His body was chopped into small pieces, and his body was thrown into chemical, and this sort of. So the mode of killing, the venue, and the manner in which the journalist's body was disposed of mark a new normal in the history of violence. And it was not that much like we saw this protest, and we saw so many articles and things, but it was not at that scale. And remember earlier on when murders were taken, or even a single murder was a big deal. It was a talk of the town. But now we find murders and brutal murders, and when I say brutal, I mean it's just these ghastly gore murders where you see people's head is chopped, or their body parts are chopped into pieces. This thing is it's becoming new normal. So what's going on with humanity? What's going on with our society? And here you find a very interesting observation in this article. See, USA is known for human rights and freedom of expression and things, and USA was guarding its business rather than taking an aggressive stand against this Saudi regime. And there are other nations, they did the same thing. Someone said that we need more evidence. Some said that we need, still things are not clear. It's a conspiracy, XYZ. So this article is saying that our normal, or our that bar or threshold is this bar is going higher and higher when it comes to violence. Violence is going, or type of violence and number of quantity as well as quality is getting bigger, which is sad. And this article is talking about a solution, or rather than solution, it is talking about a reason why we find this sort of thing. And this was said by Gandhiji in his book called Hind Swaraj, in which he portrays the omnipresent culture of violence that propels the pursuit of material prosperity at the expense of human bonds and dignity. He's talked about this lack of facilities and opportunities in rural area, and because of this thing people have to migrate to various different places. And because of this thing, what happens is people are after material necessity, and because of this thing we find people are so occupied, or maybe people don't care about other things. They are much interested in material acquisition for survival. And I would like to add here is that material life, or products and things or services that we need, is not bad, right? Many of you feel a bit shocking that I'm saying this. Yes, it's not bad. We need products, we need services, right? We need items, we need a house, we need a mobile phone, we need latest mobile phone. Now we have to decide what is the meaning of latest. If you have a decent Android or iPhone, right, if you have all this WhatsApp and everything in your phone that is required in today's world for your business, for your education, if you have all these things, then that's fine, right? Then we should feel satisfied in this thing. But if we are after iPhone 10, and after that, after a couple of months you find iPhone 11 and then 12, and you want that and that, so our endeavors or our wants, one by one, you need this car, and then you need that car, and you need this bike and this many clothes. And so this wants, right, needs and wants, again coming back to basics, wants are going to be unlimited. You need this, and you want this, and you want that. But needs, like mobile phone, is a necessity, right? It's a need in today's world. If Gandhiji would be here, he won't ask you not to have mobile phone. You need mobile phone for communication. It makes your life a bit easier. You can do much more things. But now you have to control your wants. So this is the problem, right? This is the problem here. So we are, at present, the way things are going on, it looks like we are controlled by our wants. We are or we are not. Think about it. I will leave it on you guys to decide. Now, important news ready for J&K polls has been said by Rajnath Singh. It's a political news. Assault on boys punishable by death. The cabinet has approved changes in this POCSO Act to protect all children under 12. So you have this 20 year in jail, lifetime or death penalty. And manned mission gets a green nod or green signal by Union Cabinet. Gaganyaan project 2022 at the cost of 10,000 crore rupees. We are going to send three Indian astronauts into the space for 7 days. Cabinet nod for easing CRZ. CRZ stands for this coastal regulation zone. And you have some few changes here, easy to understand, so please help yourself with this infographic. 4,500 crore assistance to Bhutan. Bhutan's new leader was here in our country, and he has committed that he will make sure his government is committed to maintain warm ties with our country. India Center gives nod to draft a bill on Indian medicine. And the other one, again, National Commission for Homeopathy Bill 2018 has also received Union Cabinet's nod. Now, how it works, Union Cabinet will go through a draft or a bill or a law. It's not a law yet, but it's basically a draft. So, Union Cabinet will give a green signal, and after this green signal, this bill or this draft will be introduced in the Parliament, and after that, it becomes a law. So, this is how it works. Again, a very basic information. Pakistan has said that CPEC, that is China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, has no military feature. It is all about economic prosperity and economic development. These are your vocabs, and a small yet important notice for all of you guys. This is a channel called Bank IQ. It is powered by StudyIQ, of course. And from 1st Jan 2019, right, you will get Hindu analysis only in Hindi. Right, English version as well as Hindi version. For UPSC, predominantly UPSC, you will get it on StudyIQ, but on Bank IQ, you will get a different version of the Hindu analysis. It will be more for bank exams, right? So, if you want to go through it, then you can check it, this Bank IQ. This lecture, this in Hindi, will be delivered by me. And it's going to be a different version. It's not going to be this version. You know that from 31st is going to be my last day on this Hindu analysis that is predominantly for your UPSC exams. So this one will be more for bank exams, and you'll also get a financial as well as economical video. So this video will be based on current affairs. It's going to be a new thing altogether. You don't find this sort of video anywhere on online platforms. So that will be started by me, of course, again. And this is going to be, you will get mixed news, right? But it will be all about finance and economical news, which is absolutely important for every exam, right? Even if you're preparing for class 3 exams, they ask you questions on economy, they ask you questions on finance. And I know that many times students find this thing quite difficult. Most of the students, they are struggling with this finance and economical news and to understand. So I am going to bring out a new video as well. So I'm excited about it. Do let me know how excited you are about it. It will be in Hindi again. It won't be in English because this Bank IQ is a channel. It's a proper Hindi channel. It's not an English channel. So English items, you will get it here on this platform, on StudyIQ. On Bank IQ, you will get all bank related and Hindi videos. So dear friends, that's a small update. With this, I have to say goodbye to you for now. I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is Sunday. I'll see you tomorrow, and you can download the PDF of today's lecture from my FB page and Twitter handle. Don't forget to hit the like button. Share this lecture with other students. God bless you all. Jai Hind.